refer to the abstract. What abstract, remember, means is that they've gone away from realism, and realism is usually has a light source, and realism usually has the correct colors to real life, and realism usually has details. Well, with abstract, we're going to actually go the opposite. It's going to be simplified. So there's going to be basic shapes and basic colors. It's going to be distorted, means we're going to cut it up, or exaggerated. And in this instance, what we are going to be doing is we're going to look at what we call an abstraction. And I'm going to take this because this is activity 2. And what we're doing is we're going to deal with abstract. And so there's 3. 1, are we going to simplify? Yes. 2, are we going to exaggerate? Probably so. And 3, are we going to distort? Yes. So this is then gives us this, as opposed to when we talk about naturalism, what we're looking at is light source. You know, it's going to have values. It's going to have a correct color to life. Okay. And the 3rd is going to have a lot of detail, such as wrinkles and folds and different values and so on and so forth. So this is what we're doing because we are talking about Cubism. And with this activity, I just call it Cubist portrait. And this is kind of like level 1. This is kind of a fun thing. And this is your second activity. I guess it's still a level 1. So what you're going to need here are a couple of supplies. I'm going to just move this. You're going to or paper plate, or something in the round, or, coffee grind, coffee filter. And I'm going to actually talk about this because I really do like working with this. And you might have to ask somebody in your family, hey, do we have coffee filters? Now we have these new coffee pots. They don't require filters. Some of them are in the tan or brown. Hey, use them. These are great also. What I'm going to do is actually work with this, and then we'll move on to working with your with a coffee filter. And you could do either one. So what we're going to do is we always go to our resources. This one is called, and I said it was going to be a portrait of a person. And so where do we have portraits? How do we have that? Can you just go ahead and draw it from, with your own? Sure. But remember, we also have the prep to our resources. And so I can actually come through here. Can I allow it to look as real as this? Absolutely. Or can I just have fun with when we actually did this activity of creating these eyes and nose and lips, stylized? Absolutely. You can choose whichever you want, and it doesn't matter on this case. You can use pencil colors or markers. I think with this one, I'm going to actually use some of the markers here I have. And I'm going to just start with black, or I could start with brown. Let's do with a brown. And I'm just going to pick whatever I want, and then I'll just go ahead and color it in. And so I'm going to just do one eye that is kind of normal. And the other eye, I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. I kind of saw this somewhere, and I just thought it was so cool. And then I'm going to do a nose. I'm going to just do a regular nose. Can I do eyebrows? Sure. And then I'm going to do a lip. And I'm going to just go ahead and, I don't know, maybe I'll just do a screaming lip, mouth, kind of like that. And so then I can come in, and remember, the best thing is not to do dark before you do lights. So I'm going to come in and just kind of, use this, and I'm going to go ahead and give this lip kind of like a little bit of a color here. It's not supposed to be bloody. I could actually add a mouth if I want. Then I'm going to, I'm going to just go ahead and give this person my portrait. Can I do pink cheeks? Absolutely. Sure. Why not? And I'm going to go ahead, and what we want is, can you color all of this in a funky color? My dark values are kind of dark. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do half of this in a marker, and then I'm going to come in and see if I have a pencil color. And I didn't check if they were actually, I'm going to just color this in right here. I'm going to look if these are sharpened. Oh, great, they are. So I'm going to take like a lighter blue, and I'm going to just go ahead and give this also a blue half. Okay. The bottom of my table has a texture because it's a cutting table. So, hey, I kind of like that right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just go ahead and color this eye this color. And I'm going to just go ahead and color this eye this color. You know, it's supposed to be so right now I'm just totally exaggerating everything. I'm going to come and do an outline of my black here. And if I want to, I could do eyelashes if I want. You don't have to. And I could add more if I want. I'm going to add little nostrils here. I'm going to just go ahead and put kind of teeth right here. And I'm going to go ahead and make this kind of open. And I'm going to go ahead, and so you get my idea here. And can I add hair, and can I do it with crayons or any other? Absolutely. I'm going to show you one right now with crayons. So do you see? And it's sort of like completely distorted. I'm doing a half and half, and we're going to talk about that later. But if you want to do it much more realistic, absolutely, you can do that. So I did it with crayons and I did it with layers. So I'm going to go ahead and add a brown hair right here. See that? I'm just going to go ahead and finish off her hair. All of this is Crayola. I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place. So she's kind of, you know, there she is in all her glory. And I'm going to put her hair all the way. And you can make a him or her, doesn't matter. I'm going to just go ahead and add this. I'm going to add a neck, like as if maybe it's a turtleneck, you know. And remember, it doesn't have to be real. I'm going to add a little bit of blue here just to finish it off. So I kind of want this kind of circle. And what we're going to actually do is you are also, and I forgot to mention this, you're going to also need another paper, because what we're doing is we're going to create a portrait. And so I kind of started this. Oops, I used the wrong color. And so I'm going to do like a neck and maybe the shoulders. They don't have to be real. Remember, this is just, we're just playing around with this. And I can actually choose different colors to go ahead and color it in. Can they be the same? Sure. Can I make polka dots and stripes? Absolutely. You know, this is your portrait. I do know that when you have more color in it, it just tends to have this wonderful look. And you got to understand that the Cubists actually are just coming out of a movement where color was everything and color defined a lot of things. Even though most of them, they actually did work a lot of still lives. And they were very monotone browns. But when it came to other movements, you know, color was kind of like the thing. Now, what you're going to do is, can I use this and this? Sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and I think I like this one. I don't know why. And I can actually add more color all over here. I hope I'm in the middle. I think my camera had moved. So I'm so sorry I'm quite not in the middle. I'm supposed to be somewhere around here. Okay, so my little girl or my little boy is starting to look a little bit scary. Not that happy, but that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a portrait, and this is the whole thing with Cubism. What they did was they actually cut things in geometric fashion to create triangles and diagonals and not too many circles. And so they cut it up. And what Pablo Picasso and Brock actually found really interesting was, how do I get these pieces? I mean, it's all cubes and they're like these shapes. And now, can I tell if this is a person? Well, kind of. I mean, it's almost like a puzzle. When you get a puzzle and you go, well, yeah, that's a fur looking, that maybe is an animal, and that kind of is green, it might be this. So what they did was they didn't want to organize it like the camera does things so perfectly. What they wanted to do was organize it with some character and make it still representing of a person, but now they changed it around and they actually played with our minds to say, well, can we reverse it and can I still know it's a person? Kind of alien looking in some sense, we call it. I kind of like that here. And then so what they did was they played around with it a whole lot. And I think I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to still keep this down here, maybe move this here. And I'm going to flatten these and I'm going to glue these to make it easier for me. But for right now, I'm just going to hold on to this. And I thought, I'm going to make a decision on how can I still tell it's a human. Can I even minimalize it and say, I'm just going to have this one and this one. Maybe I'm going to turn this one like this. I kind of like it like this. Ooh, yeah, you see that? And I like this mouth. I'm going to lower this mouth. I'm going to cut it into a triangle. Doesn't mean I have to keep these pieces. And you know what? I'm not crazy about some of these brown pieces. So I can come back and fill these in. I like this brown piece here. So what they did was they played around with all these images to look as if there was still a balance, okay? And that was their whole objective. Is there still a balance here? I'm going to cut this little triangle here. And I'm going to put this at the bottom. There we go. Now it's starting to make some sense. And what I'm looking at is, does it look like a person? Yes. But the other thing that's kind of important, I kind of like this little cheek here. I like it down here. Is it still kind of balanced? You see that? I still feel that essence of screaming person. I think I'm going to put this up here. And then I'm going to move this down here. As you can tell, it's a lot of play that you can actually enjoy yourself. So I think I'm going to kind of use it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work on a little bit more on the background and maybe create a tessellation of some sort. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to do what's very quick and easy for you guys, but you can actually decide what you want to do with this. This is going to be for the background because I'm not too crazy for a lot of that white to show. And it's going to get covered up, some of it, but some of it will actually show. And it's kind of easier to work with it when you don't have the things actually glued on. And I could look through my paperwork on what I want with this. And can I still glue it and tape it on or something like that to turn in and then still continue adding more colors? Absolutely. I can continue afterwards, but this is going to give me kind of the gist of the idea of what I'm looking at. And I'm going to go ahead and continue with another value color here. And I'm going to just leave it there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, this is odd. I don't have my glue here with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape them for right now for you to get an idea on how this project is all about. I had said kind of had liked this on this side. Oops. Right here. Kind of had like this over here. Oops. Right over here. Ooh. And I think I'm going to put this over here. This over here. No, I think I like this over here because it's darker. Here. And I think I'm going to still have a little bit of a mouth over here. I'm going to put this side of this mouth. I'll put it over here. And then I can come in and add more. And so bottom line is this is what we're talking about at Cubist. Am I still able to tell that this is actually a person? And I might have to add or remove some of these colors. I'm going to add marker. That way I have more of a bold looking person right here. And you'll look at my PowerPoint and we kind of have an example on how to do this. Now, I've done this, but guess what? The reason I didn't want to glue this is because I can actually use my coffee paper. Look at that. Okay, so how can we do this? Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is if you do have a coffee paper, I'm going to move this aside. This is kind of a fun thing. If you want to use a coffee paper, what I do tell my students is just tell me about your day. I had a lovely day. Okay, or I had the more color, the better. Had a bad day. Okay. We can continue with the markers and say, my dog ate my homework. Okay. Or just say, you know, I love everyone. So I'm going to I continuously add, or if some of my students just like to go ahead and just color it in, that is fine, you know, and the more color, the better it's going to be. So I kind of do this and I say, okay, this is kind of like your subliminal message of what you're going to send out there. I'm going to get this. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. I kind of wet my hands and just make sure there's water everywhere. Oops, I don't like to agitate it because then you're going to get it like really funky. If you have two, and this is going to all disappear, just put a second one. If you do, if you don't worry. But do you see how cool it's going to be? It's going to dry up really psychedelic. And so you're going to get something. I'm going to move this. It's overnight. I'll leave it overnight. And then it's kind of a really cool t-shirt, tie-dye kind of thing going on there. Make sure you put it on the floor or on the side for somebody not to throw it away. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this and then you can actually draw onto it. Do you see that? I did the same thing. See that? And I'm going to cut it. And so I'm going to just cut my pieces. And so I don't have to color it all. I don't have to, but I used marker. I use Crayola on top. I'm going to change this over here and maybe I'm going to change the nose somewhere else. This one's a little more delicate to do, but it's kind of a cool thing that if you want to kind of play around with it. And here's my next little abstract. So you can actually work it from a paper, card paper, or you can actually work from it from a tissue paper. You can also draw your circle onto a regular paper and then draw it and then cut it up. It's just that sometimes some of my students like these textures that it creates, and for some reason this paper works, this actually works really cool. It actually gets the colors. Look at that, how nice the colors come out from the regular Crayola box. Anyways, so this is your activity, and we are talking about, once again, abstraction. We simplified. We didn't give a lot of information. We exaggerated some of the colors because these colors are not real. We exaggerated, you know, skin color and so on and so forth. I could even change it. Oh, there, that one looks kind of cool. I kind of like this. Ooh, let's add this mouth, and I can add on to it. And did we distort it? Absolutely. Nothing's in the right place. We're not dealing with naturalism at all. And this is the abstraction. And this activity is your second activity for Cubism. This is due in at the end of the class period, or at the end of the day for sure. Bye-bye.